Well, hello and welcome to Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
Gosh, dude, I just want you, you know? Oh, and I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days, but that was good,
I wanted to throw you off a
just,
little bit. Switch it up.
but no, I pictured you in a really big armchair,
chair,
like
totally.
the Beast, like the Beast would have in
Red,
Beauty
sure.
and the Beast, definitely. With those really uncomfortable big like notches for the buttons that
Very
go in there.
uncomfortable.
And right when you said that, you were flipping one leg over the other. You know, you just like crossing
Maybe
your knees,
long
which
hair
I can't.
with like a flick. Just like push.
Yeah, but like without a recing hairline, just like a nice, thick,
just gorgeous.
You got a 20-year-old flow. Yeah, like Brock Besser kind of thing.
Flow.
What? Isn't that what they say? I didn't know that was a young person thing.
I don't know
I'm
if
not
it
trying
is.
to be hip. I don't know.
No, it just sounded
We just
dirty.
to keep talking about Brock Besser on the Canucks having
Brock Besser.
the Brock flow, right?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
So anyway, I just figured that's what people said now.
That's what the cool kids say. Hey, welcome to episode 188.
Word.
You must like this number, right? It's a bunch of circles.
A lot of rounds.
Yeah, a lot of rounds.
Like it.
So
My glasses are dirty, so you keep talking, I'll start cleaning.
are they dirty? If gross, dirty glasses is. I hate dirty glasses.
Well, my first pair of glasses, and they're massive.
That's true. Yeah, it is your first pair.
And I didn't know that they would be like freaking fly traps.
Yeah, man, you like bump them a little bit, and they just get a smear, and then that's all you see.
I swear, I just walk around the universe, and it's like all the dust in the world is like, Tyler's got glasses. Anyway, had I known about that, I still would have picked them. But
yeah, you did. You did get some large frames, so you got a big catcher there.
They are pretty big traps. Funny thing is, they're so big that the lady at the, I don't know, what do they call them, glasses place? She was making fun of my glasses. They were so big. Like, out of everyone that's supposed to be supportive of people with glasses, it's them.
What was she saying?
And she said something along the lines, I went back in to get them fixed. And she's like, so how are the glasses doing? I'm like, I just need them adjusted. But, I'm just getting used to what life is like with the peripheral being different than that. Like, my perception's still off. And she's like, peripheral? What peripheral?
That's awesome.
Just a dick.
I mean, she's not totally wrong, but that is pretty funny.
Doesn't matter.
Hey,
That's my wife's job, not her job.
That's true. Big shout out to our patrons and people who support the podcast. Thank you, Freaky Doctor, for the donation this week. That was very kind of you. And to everybody else who supports the podcast, our patrons, we love you. Patreon gets you access to After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast. It's just more of us sitting on comfy chairs even.
But we do have very comfy cares.
Very comfy
if
cares.
you want to be cared for, we are
place to
comfy.
go. Yeah. I'm very caring when I'm a little happy. So
You're happy about once a week.
Yep. Anyway, thank you everybody for supporting the podcast. We love your faces. And if you're not a Patreon, check it out. It's
Twice a week, I guess.
Twice a week. Who?
I mean, you're normally happy on podcast day or happy on race night. And, maybe if you get lucky. So maybe
very happy on this race night. Just FYI, warning our buddies.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited. I might not even broadcast. I'm so excited to hear how it all went down.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Anyway, yeah.
Did you Happy Mother's Day?
No, you should though. Let's do it.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Bow, bow, bow. You did it.
Your mother's.
We're here because of you.
That's right.
So
and we're very thankful for you, mothers.
Yep. Yeah, that's fun. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and mother roles out there.
This comes out on Mother's Day, so
it does. We actually hit one of our dates
fancy
right.
Pants? Anything appropriate for that's podcast that you can talk about on the podcast?
Our every Mother's and Father's Day, we always just do us and the kids. Like we see our parents through the weekend and do stuff with them, but then on the actual days, we just chill with just us and the kids. It was funny actually because my work was talking to me, my office, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to?" Actually, I'm not gonna say what it was, but anyway, I was like, "We keep that day for us. Like no, I'm not talking on my phone. Don't bug me. That's our day." So my wife she likes to be around kids and stuff. So
weird,
Yeah, that's it. What about you? Are you doing anything for Mother's Day?
No, it'll be the same. The same. She's like, Tyler, don't you dare get me any gifts. We've spent enough money, thinking about the dog and all this kind of stuff. Sure. I'm like, too late. Got like a month ago. And
me too.
But we'll try and make it special without spending money, and we'll do what we can. Get the kids to draw a picture tonight, and then I'll buy a frame for it tomorrow when I'm out and about. And then, so she'll get that hopefully. And then, yeah, it's pretty low key, but I like to make it special with things like breakfasts and just all that.
Yep, just hanging out. It's nice.
Give her a beer with breakfast, 9 a.m. You're welcome. Oh, that's heaven for her, man.
Beer?
I think beer is disgusting. I've tried I've tried not every time. Maybe a couple times a year. Whenever she's having a beer, I'll ask for a taste and see if I've grown up yet. No, it's nasty, man. Like there's very few things in the world when that taste touches my tongue that I feel like hurling. Mustard's one and beer is one. And I've tried so many different kinds. There was one beer that didn't make me want to puke when I had it. It was Hoegaarden. Aaron and I went out for like when we were dating, maybe. It was out on Commercial Drive in Vancouver. There was a nice Belgian restaurant with Hoegaarden. Hang on, my cat's whining.
I like the taste of some beer. I just don't like the feeling. I get my stomach gets like that heavy feeling. So I'm not a fan.
Is it just the wheat?
I don't know. Maybe I would just give me my hard stuff. Hits me faster, tastes better, and I don't feel gross.
Wow, that was a wicked innuendo. Think about that. Thinking about hard stuff now.
Yep.
What'd you say?
I don't even remember.
Hits me faster.
Works faster, hits me harder.
I don't know. Anyway, it all worked out. All worked out. Go back thinking about erections. And you're great. But hey, all that really ties into a hilarious... No, there actually is a hilarious tie-in to erections because GGG put out a post about race stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw your thing. I actually didn't see that.
All it is, it's reminding people like you still have to have names that are appropriate to our terms of service. Like we don't catch everything, I guess. That gets
it has to be reported typically.
If you're going to be the same kind of person that's putting extremely inappropriate names, and you're racing, we're
you're out.
You're out, and maybe for future events as well, depending on what it is. But I always picture people
require
like
a post to tell you that.
No, it shouldn't. But it's funny because all it's saying is, remember, we have a terms of service that includes how you name your characters. But I always picture people that do stuff like that. They're like Beavis and Butthead. Remember Beavis and Butthead? I was never allowed to watch it when I was a kid.
Yeah, I just remember
that. It's kind of like
stupid
right,
noises.
Yeah. So it's like, let's say somebody's talking about the planet Uranus, and they're like, Uranus. That's always what I picture when people make those kind of names. But anyway, just quickly before we get on to our private league information, I just wanted to wish our Albertan neighbors the best. I wish we could do more for them instead of just empty words of, hey, wish you're doing okay. But the forest fires have been absolutely brutal. Really, really bad. So for any listeners that are from there, but anyone else, just wish we could do more, but best wishes for you while it's there. Hopefully you don't get evacuated or lose anything, but
I think it's going to be like for us this year. This is going to be a hot summer. We're already going into a crazy hot week.
Our summer started 3 days ago. We went from like just, what was it? 2 weeks of straight rain to all of a sudden we're in 30-degree weather.
30 plus, yeah. It's nuts.
It's weird because where we live in the south of British Columbia, we're used to, the official day of winter, the official day of spring and summer. We're used to those meaning nothing because spring's, spring starts the end of February, beginning of March. By the time, spring break hits with the kids, that's when I'm at the different nurseries that I go to pick stuff up and they're all ready to go. This is the first year since, I don't know, I've been adulting and caring about the weather. So a few decades that spring's actually, for us, it's late, but it's almost starting on spring day. Like the official day of summer is just around the corner and we're getting our 30-degree weather. So it's, we're almost on the clock, Just. We're almost punctual.
Look at us.
But anyway, best of everything to our Albertan neighbors. I really hope no listeners or anyone else that is suffering as a result of all the crazy fires. We're quite familiar with it, so our hearts are out to you.
Not fun. On to more happy news, though. Our private league's coming. We talked about it last week that we were going to talk about in After Dark. Then we did talk about it in After Dark. We made very different decisions than what we've decided on in After Dark, but someone brought up a great point in our After Dark, a comment in our After Dark about the fact that the dates we were looking at were lined up with the D4 release. And I do want to play Diablo before. I want to try it out, and that was not great timing. So what we've done instead is gone with not the greatest timing, at least for myself, but it should still be fine. But yeah, so our private league starting May 19th.
That's this week.
1 week from today, when
which
we're
is
recording.
5 days after you hear this, if you're
or maybe
eager
3 or 2, depending on when you listen. Yeah, you're right.
No, great. So anyway, you have no time.
Nope.
Good luck. Have fun. We hope you die lots. And for anyone who's successful in, it's hardcore solo self-found league. So Crucible. Crucible hardcore. So is it HCSSF or SSFHC?
HCSSF.
I think it should be the other way around.
No, because one of them matters much more than the other.
Solo self-found.
No,
it's the only way to play.
Guess what? You still keep your solo self-found stuff.
But guess what? Sometimes your friend douchebags play a raider with 450% movement speed, and co-op is freaking pointless.
It's not a raider anymore. We're going to get to that. But yeah, so it starts May 19th. It starts at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. To get access to it, you do have to go on our Discord. I get that some people don't like Discord. That's just the easiest way for us to make sure that it stays within our community. So if you're not a Discord person, would feel free to pop in there, get the information, and pop out if that's not your thing. But you really should just pop in there and stay, 'cause it's a great community. We have an awesome bot that 2 of our people built that gets used. It's a ton of fun through the league itself, especially now with hardcore, because you get to watch the deaths, which we appreciate. There's no weird modifiers besides hardcore and solo self-found, and there's lots of rewards.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be fun.
It's not going to be fun at all, man. Hardcore sucks.
It's still going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be fun, and I'm going to have fun.
Let's chat. Yeah, let's. We'll talk more about our maybe strategies or thoughts towards the private league in After Dark, because we're not going to get too much into the private league now. But next week it's starting May 19th, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Runs for 10 days. It's free to join. Lots of prizes to win. So pop on to our Discord to get the information for that. How was your week, buddy?
That was good. It went by quick. Went by really quick. I mean, it was quite sunny. So I was finishing doing my required lawn watering for the new seed that I planted a couple weeks ago. So I'll be stopping that. I mean, I guess I'll still be watering just so, because we're getting a week of 30-degree weather here, but lots and lots of sun, which is great. My grass was growing so fast, Justin, that I had to do. I
saw the pictures in Discord.
5 days of lawn mowing. Oh. 5 separate days. That's how fast it was growing. My battery powered lawnmower, which is good. Like when my grass grows at a normal pace, I can do the 2,000 square feet. No problem. Mm-hmm. No problem. And no, it's about 500 square meters. Let's do square meters, 500 square meters. And I can do it. No problem. I've got maybe a quarter of the battery left. And so there's, battery life for if, the brushless blade really needs to spin up hard. It has room for that. But it got to the point where the grass was growing so fast that I couldn't even finish the front lawn. So then the next day I'd have to finish the front lawn, and then I'd start doing the back. And of course, then it doesn't finish. So it actually took me 5 separate days of lawn mowing. There was one day where I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to do it tomorrow. I'm going to finish up tonight. And so at 9 o'clock, after the kids are in bed and after I finish, I think I had something else to do. It was just one of those stupid days where, go. And so anyway, 9 o'clock, I turn on the lawnmower at night and I'm out there mowing the lawn. And I've always made fun of my lawnmower for having headlights that turn on automatically.
That's awesome.
When they're on, because who's mowing their lawn at night? Well, this guy was, and it worked out great because my motion sensor lights are good, but they're not like, oh my goodness, did you see that rabbit 600 yards away?
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, they're legit. Yes, like yours. So no, mine are legit where it's like, if you're within range, they'll stay on, but I don't have them posted on all the trees around the properties. So yeah, it was kind of fun to mow at night. Never done that before, but yeah, 5 separate times. It's mowing like mad. The grass that I've been leaving for 2 weeks to grow, because you're not supposed to mow the lawn, of course, after you've put down fresh seeds. So I've been leaving that grass. It's past my daughter's knee. Like, we're talking like,
but you mow it once it's at 3 inches. That's insane that it's that high.
It is. Yeah. You should come by and just take a quick look today before you drive off to any of your meetings. Like, there's it's just that section that goes on, the small section in the front of the house on the way to the back. It's huge. Like, we're talking 2 weeks.
That's new seed?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think I overseeded the new seed part, and I'm not getting enough growth there.
The other stuff is growing.
Right.
Oh, that was the pictures you posted. Okay, yeah. I did see those pictures on Discord. You had one that was
just
like
the one where it was like that
longer.
one blade, and then it's longer than my trunk of the car. Like I put the picture of the two reeds of strands of grass on my trunk, and one of them went from the bottom and past the top of my trunk onto the windshield.
Wow.
Anyway, it's good, and I'm getting excited. My poor dog's as I mentioned last week, she's had a cone for a couple of weeks now, and so she's getting that off tomorrow. As long as the stitches are good.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's been miserable.
I'm sure. I wouldn't want to have a cone on.
I couldn't double up the anti-inflammatory. She's normally on an anti-inflammatory, and she had to be on a different one that they gave her post-surgery. And it's definitely not anywhere near as efficient for the hip issues that she has. So she's been barely walking, barely peeing, not wanting to get up to eat. So she'll be excited to be back to normal soon.
Sweet.
Anyway, do you want to talk about your week?
Well, I did forget last week to talk about the fact that I had done some lawn work. I think it was last week that I forgot. I don't remember, but I did overseed. So maybe that was 2 weeks ago now. I don't remember. I did overseed my lawn. It's starting to grow. I've been watering it. Well, I've been watering it. My phone and my wireless are taking care of the watering. It's starting to grow. Although I'm realizing I did not seed enough. Given the amount of damage that had happened in the previous year, I should have seeded heavier. So I'm probably going to have to do another run of seeding, which is fine. I bought lots of seeds, so that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know when I'll take care of it, so that's why I'm a little nervous to actually do the seeding again, because it's like, well, if it actually starts to fill in, I'm going to have some trouble. My week was fine. Sure. I had a what I'm going to call it, just a session with Tyler. He was kind enough to let me vent to him a little bit this week, but it
was short, man. You need to do that more often.
No, that was enough for me. That day was awful. That particular day was the worst day for me of the week. It was not a good week at all, or not a good day at all, but I was fine the next day. I'm feeling good today. I'm very excited for Monday. And yeah, it's just been a week. It's been a week of there's a lot of stuff I'd love to tell you, but I have to tell you privately, unfortunately, because there's one particular thing that was hilarious, that how things turned out, but I can't, I'm not even allowed.
I'm glad that it's okay. Good. I have an idea of what you're talking about. Obviously, I don't know the result, but I'm glad it turned out to be hilarious instead of. There
was one thing. Well, it wasn't hilarious in the moment. So there's some stuff that happened. You know what? That's just part of work. And some days are not going to be the greatest. That one Wednesday was awful. I had a really awful Wednesday, but it moved on from there, and I'm feeling good today, and I'm excited for the weekend to do. I do have quite a bit of work that I have to do, unfortunately, over the weekend, but I'm going to try and not do anything on Sunday because I love my wife and I don't want to be murdered. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. I really am. Next week's it's going to be insanely busy, like insane. I've never seen my calendar look so gross, but it's going to be a very exciting week. So I'm quite looking forward to it. So yeah, that was my week in general. Was I actually just worked. I did a couple days, took my kids for Slurpees because I needed a break. So we got in the car after school and I just went and hung out with them for a little bit. And the best part about kids is they don't care, and that's not a bad thing, but they don't know you're going. I don't, my kids never know about my work stuff. They're not involved in.
Sure.
You know, if we're struggling, we do that privately. We're not the type that brings our kids into that struggle. And so which is great for us, because when we're having those days, these, the three that live at home, and I've got one that lives out on his own, they're just happy. They're just chilling. And the idea of like going to get a Slurpee is like, I think Maya told me that I'm the best dad ever. I was like, because of a Slurpee. Thank you.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, you know what? Overall, it was a fine week. I'm very excited for next week, and I'm excited for the private league that's coming up. And yeah, it's gonna be good. So
I'm excited for it.
Let's talk about this week.
Can you hit the pause button?
Mm-hmm. There's not a pause button, but yeah,
I know. Do the edit button because it's just a button. That's all you do, right? You just hit a button that says edit button now, and then unedit, and then re-edit, and then continue edit.
Yep.
I know what you do.
All right, hitting lazy button.
There's a stink bug. I have to get rid of it.
and disengage edit button.
Have you ever
What does a
had
stink bug look like?
stink?
I don't even know what it looks like.
They're brown, and they're definitely a bug.
Oh,
They're shaped like a shield. You've probably seen them. There's
I've
so
probably
many
seen
of
those,
them in
yeah.
our area.
I didn't know that was a stink bug.
Well, yeah, I was going to ask. Like, they're called stink bugs, and when you look it up, they can get stinky. I've never had one stink.
Do they
Never
like
had a stinky stink bug.
poof air that stinks, or what happens?
I don't know. Like, I just grabbed this one, and it was flopping around in my hand, and then it gave up. I open
Give
the
it a
front
sniff.
door, I throw it out. Yeah, that's right. No, I open the front door, I throw it out, and it just starts flying away like I just helped it out. No
Interesting.
stink. But they're everywhere. Like, I've smushed them.
I have
No
seen those
stink.
before. Yeah. All right, let's get into Path of Exile this week. This week in PoE, there's some things. Couple.
There are some things.
Mhm.
Let's see. We had some community showcases, which was pretty sweet. Love that kind of stuff. Crucible fan art competition highlights. Wow.
Well, the Crucible fan art, there's a dude that's like making a real mask, like with fire.
You see him
stuff.
carving it out with his little thingy things, and then he puts it on some coals or whatever it is. It goes on fire, covers it with a bucket. I really liked that video. It was really cool to see the process. It wasn't just the finished product, which of course now it's like a sweet looking old Mayan mask, but
It was really cool.
yeah, I really enjoyed seeing the process of that one for sure. So yeah, that was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we have? Oh, right. The biggest excitement and disappointment in MTX history for me, almost.
Okay.
They came out with the Dragon Currency Horde stash.
Yeah, I did see that. You and I were talking about it. I didn't, to be honest, didn't pay a huge amount of attention. I just saw the tweet for it, but I was like, what's the stages? Is it based on how many divines in your stash? Is it based on like, what's the determination for the size of the stash?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they emphasized which tab, like they told you which tab it would scale off of, right? So if you have a currency stash tab with your, basically it's wherever, as far as I remember, your currency affinity, wherever you have your affinity set to for your currency.
So you don't
tab.
have to have the paid currency tab, which is good. Whichever one you have the affinity set for, that's good.
Yep, that's right. But they didn't do it for console.
Oh, maybe it's just not coming out yet. Maybe it's still coming.
They didn't say anything. A lot of the times they also just came out with the Sanctum stashes. They also came out with the Miss Sanctum stashes, and that's on console. But these dragon ones that scale in size aren't on console. So I was quite disappointed. So I sent them a tweet.
I'm sure you did.
And I said, I was excited and now I'm not.
Mm-hmm. And they were like, let's get on it, guys. Let's get on it.
That's right. That T-Bone said something. Let's do this.
They also came out
probably
with
gave a high five. Yeah, T-Bone.
Thank goodness he's here. In that same one, they announced a couple other ones. There was the Druidic helmet, which I thought was goofy, but the item display showcase, first off, I love it because it's heist.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'm kind of curious about a couple things. And again, this is because I only saw the tweet and it wasn't properly shown in the tweet. Can you see the item itself in this? You must be able to, because I know you can mouse over it and you get that same idea as like, in heist when you do it. But I was like, I hope you can actually see the item in the display case too. But I mean, it's a cool idea to like showcase whatever your few.
It is
things. It's the same for me though. Like the mannequins, I understand that they have to do it because there's money involved, but I don't like the fact that if I buy one, I have to buy each of them. It was the same with the mannequins. We talked about this last week. I don't want to have to buy a pack of 5. I feel with most hideout stuff, if I buy it, I can put a couple of them up. I guess you can't really with MTX. So that is fair, but I don't know.
There you.
But it is cool. It looks cool.
Yeah, so that is kind of neat. I mean, I can't picture when I personally would ever use that, because if I had an epic weapon or an epic item,
put your mirror in it.
But then it's not in my stash.
It would actually be kind of scary. Like, what's the risk of losing that item? That is true, actually.
No, Can
you imagine what happens when you hit? What happens? Here's my question. So
reclaim all decorations,
but you have a full inventory when you do it, because you can't drop items on the ground in your hideout. So let's say your inventory is totally full and you hit reclaim all. What happens to the items inside of those display cases? Do they just poof and they disappear? I wonder if that's been tested.
Bye.
Yeah, all of your best stuff is just gone. That'll learn you.
That's right, you bragger. Anyway, that's awesome. Wouldn't that be great to buy that, but you're always solo self-found? So you're excited, but you forget you're solo self-found for a moment, so you get it and you realize no one's ever coming to your hideout.
Ooh, look at this belt.
you every time you come back from mapping, you're like, to show to nobody. And that's my belt.
Yep.
That's my amulet.
Is your hideout for other
sometimes
people?
call it Ammy.
My hideout's for me. I traded with somebody this week who had all grass throughout their hideout. I was like, oh, this is very nice. Nice job.
Good.
Anyway, sorry. What else we got?
No, we're good. I don't know. I'm still a little heartbroken that the Dragon Currency Horde stash isn't available on console.
I'm sure it's coming.
I'm going to get it for the guild hideout.
Yep.
Because they do have the guild
that's kind of cool
there.
Yep. That's fun.
But yeah, what else? There's a hot fix.
Oh, Sanctum. Hold on. Sanctum stash mystery box are now in the store.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
And then there was an issue with the item display cases, so that was fixed. It was probably deleting all their items. No, it wasn't. ExileCon had balcony tickets available. Looks like they still do.
Cool.
And then they had their second qualifier event, and I think TIE Killer won that one.
Sweet. Well, they have 4 in total, I think, right?
There will be 4, yes. And so there's 2 winners currently. Do you think TIE Killer? Do you think TIE Killer hates ties? Well, TIE Killer. You think?
Oh, like he's
whoever
the killer
that
of
is like,
ties?
Yeah, just hates Tylers and Taylors and any other kind of tie. Probably
tie. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm trying to be an idiot and think through the process of somebody's nickname, which is an entirely waste of time.
Right? Never know. It's like,
yeah, I don't know. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. He just
a murderer of Tylers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good job, TIE Killer.
From this Tyler.
Yeah, that's right. Rooting for you so you don't murder me.
Mm-hmm.
And, don't be a tit with your race names, kids. That's right. Had that in there, too.
Shocker.
I love that they had to do a PSA, names during qualifier events.
You know why, though?
Hilarious.
I mean, granted, they shouldn't have to, but I think some people think that they get away with it, but it's just because you're not reported. It's insane to think that they're going to catch people in general that use names they shouldn't be using unless they're reported. But when you're in an event that you have to stream and that they have to monitor, come on. it shouldn't take us.
No, you put the dunce cap on.
Yep.
Right.
Should be pretty obvious, but anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, it was actually a pretty small week in PoE land, but it was cool to see all the neat stuff the community did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we're coming up to, I'm curious what GGG is going to do. Oh, hang on. Tordanak this week posted in our Discord that GGG is going to be at the Summer Game Fest or whatever it's called. I know there's a lot of different like gaming events and stuff like that. I don't specifically know. I don't follow it, but Tordanak mentioned it and posted it before even GGG themselves posted it.
Okay.
And so anyway, it's interesting because
when is that happening?
So they're going to a conference and a whole bunch of other big, developer names are going to be there, publisher names are going to be there, and that's at the beginning of June. But
is this like where they do their own shows or where they have booths or like what? I don't know.
I don't know either. But they're obviously there for a reason.
Path of Exile too.
It's not. Yeah, that would be my assumption. I haven't seen GGG post that they're going to something like this in a long time.
We already know.
But here's the thing: they're doing this before ExileCon. So what I was going to say, and kind of the segue into this was, we're starting to get to like more of a dry spell now, right? We're the month and a half into the league. Normally we're like a couple, maybe 3 weeks away from new teasers, but we're only in the middle of May right now. And the next league, the next league's not until August. The end of July, maybe, or August, because ExileCon's literally the end of July, right?
Very end,
So August. So we're still looking at like all of June and all of July and these next 2 weeks. So we still have 10 weeks of this league, and it's no criticism. I mean, what are you supposed to do? But we're getting to that dry period where if it was a normal 3-month span, this would be the time where most numbers are taking their biggest drop, I would assume. So, what are the kind of stuff that they're thinking? Like, I'm just, they want to keep the ball rolling. I'm sure they're not going to try and fill this all with events or anything like that. Like, they're going to obviously accept their normal dip in numbers, but now that we're getting to the dry spell, but now they have this stuff coming up. Like they're going to have 2 more qualifier events, right? It needs to be done before ExileCon because people a good time away so that people can book time off so they can show up. But outside of that, like, I don't know, like if you're GGG, what are you going through now? Like I'm thinking like they're going to have Game Fest.
Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
Game
yeah.
Fest, okay.
And then, but then a month-ish later, they have ExileCon.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are you planning? Like, so it got me thinking after Tordenak posted that. And then, of course, you know, coming to the realization that we're already at the dry spell of the typical league. It's like, what kind of teasers? Like, it's kind of changing my perception of what ExileCon's going, like what the big reveals are going to be, because now I'm starting to think, okay, now it's like they're setting themselves up to have teaser after teaser after teaser before ExileCon, because it is going to be a long duration, but there's no reason to have Game Fest. Obviously, I don't know anything about what they're planning. I don't even know what Game Fest is, whether it's like a little booth or whether they're going to do a presentation. But obviously, you don't want to spoil ExileCon 2. That's your priority because that's what your fans that already love your game.
I agree.
Are spending thousands on. So like now I'm just curious. I'm trying to think about what you can tease that isn't
already out there. It would have to be stuff that's already out there.
Or what's new that isn't as big of a deal that you're not gonna I don't know. So anyway. So I think it was Tordenak that was joking. It's like you know what? They're going to Game Fest for PoE Mobile 2. That's what they're going on stage for.
Yeah, hey, if PoE Mobile is what they're doing at the Game Fest thing, I wouldn't care. That's fine. You have to keep the big stuff for ExileCon, and to be honest, the PoE Mobile is not the big thing. But yeah, I would imagine it's just to talk more about their game in general and maybe PoE 2 that's coming up. You are right, though, thinking about the fact that it's 10 months away, but their time
10 weeks
is going to be wholly invested into ExileCon, while the development side is getting ready for 322. Like, there's just to put on an event the size of ExileCon, it requires so much time. Like, it's incredible how much time it takes to put on an event like that. So yeah, I was thinking about what you were talking. I'm not sure I even see them, unless they've planned well ahead to have even events happening through this boring part of waiting for 322, because that just takes away manpower from making sure 322 and ExileCon are good to go. You cannot come out with a bad 322 after you've hyped up everything at ExileCon. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, definitely, because
has to be strong.
It does because people it has nothing to do with PoE 2, but it has everything to do with PoE 2. You've announced PoE 2. People are extra hyped. They're like, all right, let's just dive right in right now. And let's get this going. I know it's not PoE 2, but let's get back on the PoE train. And if that league sucks,
it's got to be a big deal.
Oh my goodness. But not just like the league mechanic itself. Like, you're not a fan of Crucible, but if you not just the league mechanic itself, but the game has to be balanced. The game has to be ready for a new influx of players. Obviously, PoE 2 is when that huge influx of players is going to be, but you are going to get a rebirth of new players coming back in after ExileCon, because the announcement's big. Like, that's where unless you're going to have an ExileCon 3, that's all the other big information you need until the teaser starts showing up. Like, that's your last moment of a big reveal outside of your Twitch announcement, which you're going to do for the actual thing. I mean, who knows how they're actually going to do it, but it is going to be like their last big splash hurrah, because everybody's assuming that this is the last one. And like, yeah, they're going to be doing, what do they do? Path of Exile 2 and mobile reveals, beta date announcements, presentations. Yeah. Interesting. So anyway, yeah. You had a PoE week this week, so did I.
Did you?
I did.
You? Oh,
it was
fun.
It was a pain.
Oh.
I hated it. Like, I was so excited to play.
Tell me about it.
And I don't know, it's like one of those things where, like, I like doing Maven. I had my first Awaken gem ever drop. And it was because they can now drop with just
a witness,
a normal map. Yeah, it was just a normal witness map. And that's what I always have. And I'm relatively apathetic to which bosses I do, which normally hasn't been an issue. Like, if I can't remember which bosses I've done, then I'll just do a normal Maven invitation, not a magic or rare, because, you know, I don't remember. And because my play, like, those are bosses from sometimes a month ago, right? So, I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember which. And so sometimes the combos, even though they're normal, are insane, but they're doable. And so I've done some Maven invitations, but this Maven invitation, I had to double check to make sure that it was a normal Maven invitation. This Maven invitation that I did was absurd. There was not one build I had that could do it. It was destroying everything. Like there was the lady that makes tornadoes, but her tornadoes were half the size of the entire the arena. Just massive. But then there were so many other things that were just, it was like every massive AoE boss was all in the same one. I had no hope. There was nothing I could do. My tankiest, harshest characters that could take anything could not do it. So that was disappointing because I'd never actually come across a normal invitation that I'd never been able to do. But because I'm relatively apathetic with which bosses are in there, I guess it's possible that there's just some combinations that give you a big FU. And that was it. So I came across that for the first time. So that was disappointing because it was shortly after I got my first Awakened gem. And I was like, all right, let's see if I can get another one. And then...
Did you get an Awakened gem you can use?
Yeah, on my Righteous Fire character is Awakened Elemental Focus.
Nice.
So, but no, I played my Righteous Fire character a lot. I played
standard PC console. What were we on?
Sorry, it's on console, so standard. And I played my Reaper build a bit. I still got this thing for zombies. I don't know what it is. And then every time I play my zombie build, I'm disappointed that it's not as tanky as the other ones, but I know I don't have a choice because otherwise my zombies aren't going to live. And I don't know. I feel a little, what's the word? Empty, I guess you could say. I can't find a character that I'm in love with. Like there's skills that I love, but I can't play them the way that I want to. There's Ascendancies that I love, but I can't play them the way that I want to. Like I love the Occultist, but I don't want to focus on Cold or Chaos. So
why do you love the Occultist?
I love the curse efficiency. I love the 50% chance for enemies to explode and that explosion that happens. And so, yeah, I love those two. And of course, I love being able to curse enemy, not hex. I love being able to curse hexproof enemies as well. But I don't know, like there's just like, I can't find a combination of skills and ascendancy that really excite me. You know what I mean? I went in to do that, what's it called? The Maven invitation, fighting against the 10 bosses. Reaper couldn't stay alive. Not for a second. So I'm like, well, that sucks. Like I know in like 95% of my mapping, like that's not a problem. It's going to die occasionally, but that's the whole point of the Reaper. You just resummon and you keep going. And that specific battle will be a little bit longer. But in this kind of harsh content, it was like it couldn't stay alive at all. I'm like, crap. So I bring in my zombies. My zombies are staying alive. The new changes that I made this league, they were fantastic. The zombies are staying alive. One died, but it was an absolutely insane combination, as I mentioned. I couldn't stay alive because the majority of my focus is on minion damage and minion life and survivability.
They don't do damage when you're dead, right?
No. No, they got rid of all that stuff, which I don't really understand the point of cast on death anymore, unless it's only for a portal. But it used to be that people
damage over time still does damage when you're dead.
Does it? Oh, until it expires. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, so then I did that, and then I was playing around with my Righteous Fire build, which I absolutely love. And I had there's been a few people that have been messaging me for tips, ideas, and stuff like that. It was kind of funny. Somebody was messaging me about my Righteous Fire build, and like, hey, I'm feeling a little squishy. I feel like I'm dying a little too often. Can you just take a look at my character? And I don't normally have time for that, so unfortunately, it was about 5 days until I could respond to them. But I took some time to take a look at their character, right? And I look, and I'm like, they have a level 2, a level 3, a level 4, and a level 100. And I'm like, so I go and I look at the level 100, and I'm like, that's my build. Like no one else does incinerate with Righteous Fire. It's like, it's all the same. And I'm looking, I'm like, they're level 100. You mean you're dying too much? So I guess they fixed the issue on their own, but I responded to them anyway. But it was kind of a funny thing. Like I'm expecting them to be struggling at
70s, 80s.
Right. Something. I don't know. And then I look and I'm like, dang, they're way better than me. So good for them. Good for them. But yeah, no, I had a good week. I myself wasn't successful with the things that I wanted to do, but I was also, I don't know, like disheartened's not the right word because that makes it sound more important than it is. But like Path of Exile is my favorite game, arguably. Well, I guess it is. Like I love Dragon's Dogma and a couple other games, and of course anything from software, but the Path of Exile is what I always come home to, right? It just sucks that there's no ascendancy and skill combo that I'm in love with. It's either the ascendancy
in the
bores
size of the
me.
game.
Well, yeah, but it kind of like, I remember when we had Tarkion, I don't know if it was episode 50 or 100, or no, wait, I forget which one Tarky was on, but he was saying
13 and 100.
That was kind of the frustration if you played Path of Exile before Ascendancies and then Ascendancies were introduced during your time. That was kind of the frustration because Ascendancies started to funnel your creativity as opposed to keep it expanded. And I definitely fall into that a lot. And I definitely, I guess, was reminded of that. As I was theory crafting and coming up with ideas, because I guess the theory crafting started, somebody was messaging, they really want my trigger happy build to come back. So I started playing with that and started thinking of that. But then as soon as you start tasting that theory crafting again, it's like, doesn't matter what you've just finished. You start thinking about other things. And so anyway, yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. Like I'm such a minion lover. I love the permanent minions like zombies and stuff, but I just can't find, I'm forced to play very specific ways for that kind of skill. And then I look at some of the other ones and it's just, well, I don't want to do this and mix it with that. Like I really would like to do this and that, but the game just doesn't support that right now. So it was discouraging, but still, I mean, I'm still obsessed about the game. So yeah. How about you? You sounds like you made some big changes. So why don't you talk for a while?
Well, I bought the headhunter. So then I was figuring out what I wanted to do with it. So I switched over because I was doing magic find on the witch. I was playing a cultist just to try and make it work with Death's Oath. And then I wanted to get Divination Distillate, the hybrid life flask that has quantity and rarity on it. But if you can't consistently use it, then it's worthless. It's not like it's on a utility flask where I can just have it used when charges are full, because if my health caps, then it just stops, right? The effect doesn't run anymore. Pathfinder with this league change with their Ascendancy makes sense because it works like an enduring mana flask does, where it just keeps working even if you're at full health. So I went Pathfinder. I did some looking into what people play when they're magic finding with Headhunter, and Tornado Shot seemed to be a pretty popular one. Actually, I don't remember if I talked about this last week, but somebody in Discord actually mentioned to me, check out this, I can't remember the name of the person, but they were playing like a poison-based Tornado Shot. So I did some looking into it and started playing around with it. So I played a lot this week, just running maps. Here's what happened though. Let me run you through this process. And I don't think this all happened this week, but it might have been a combination of last week and this week. So I started looking into how are people juicing maps? How are you getting like, whatever, the most amount out of a map? And I realized very quickly, I hate that way of playing. I absolutely hate it. Buying sextants, buying scarabs is not fun to me at all. Like not even a little bit. I love running maps that are affected by scarabs, and I love running maps that are affected by sextants, but the process of getting those two things is exhausting. Like it takes you out of the game for an hour, minimum an hour, to try and line all the stuff up you need to like fully juice up these maps and really, really play them. I don't even care how much loot I got. It was so not fun whatsoever. So then I think I saw Talon post in Discord about something. So I'd asked him about, what's that list that he's using. So I was looking into his. I did play with Wandering Path for a little bit, but I finally realized like, I don't want to. I actually just want to go in and just make the map have the chance to have the stuff I want to do, which was legions, because they're fun with Headhunter. I wanted strong boxes. I wanted shrines, and I was fine with having a little bit into, why can't I think of the word? It's the delirium, with a little bit of delirium. And so then I basically just said, screw it. I'm not going to do this anymore. It's not fun. I'm actually burning myself out and not having fun playing it. So I completely screwed the scarabs in the sense that I went Growing Hordes, which somebody in Discord had to help me because I hadn't played in like a day. And I just forgot that I just respec my tree. And I was like, I have put this Legion scarab in here. And in the past, it was like the past 3 of 6 maps, it just didn't, there was no Legion. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And I was complaining about it. And then I put it in Discord and somebody thankfully mentioned a couple options. And one of them was Growing Hordes. And I was in the middle of typing to them going like, yeah, I did that. And I was reading their thing, trying to respond, properly to it. And then they're Growing Hordes. And I'm like, I write down, yeah, I have Growing Hordes. And I'm like, oh my God, you're an idiot. That's exactly why. So I thanked them, and that was why. But that was the whole point. The whole point was actually just, I have so many of these scarabs. Let me go Growing Hordes and then not care. I've got the Atlas passive set up the way I want it. So I have the chance to get the legions and the stuff that I want to do. And it did get a lot more fun after that when I stopped caring. But I am finding that I'm at a point now where I was thinking about it yesterday. I wasn't really feeling like mapping. It's probably work related too, like just with everything going on. My head's not totally in that space, but there wasn't even anything else I wanted to do. I was like, maybe I'll play a different game. Wasn't any video game I wanted to play. Wasn't any other thing I wanted to try out. I don't know. I've had it before. Sometimes you just get out of that mentality of video games, and I feel like I'm kind of there right now. So I also thought it would be a good time to just chill a bit, because this week's going to be a zoo, and then we've got the private league, and I do want to play the private league. So headhunter is always very fun to me, but it also means that I've hit a point where I probably don't need too much else. Yep. Because the build is going to work fine. I have zero interest in leveling another character now. And so there are certainly ways I could maximize my build out, but I don't need to. So yeah, that's one of the things. I do love it. It feels so fun to play with a headhunter. Like, it's a lot of fun, especially when you're fast, you kill a lot of mobs, you get a lot of rares. But it does get to a point where I'm like, at this point, the only thing I'm playing for is to build up more currency that has no use. There's no purpose to it. There's no benefit to it. I don't have any plans to play another build. I don't have any, if anything, I could save up to buy a mage blood for my guy who kills bosses, but that's all he does. He just throws down the totems and kills bosses. I did a bunch of Mavens. I've done Uber everything now this league. So
I have an idea.
What's that?
Why don't you blindly with me try and make zombies work?
I don't like zombies though.
But it would be fun.
I don't think so.
I think it would be.
Why?
Think about the challenge, right? It's a crappy balanced skill that requires an insane amount of investment that makes it difficult for you to survive or them. You have to pick. But the idea is that both of you survive, and the damage needs to be legit so that you don't want to punch a hole through the wall.
Yeah, but you want the damage to come from zombies, and it just doesn't work.
So
it just doesn't.
Pet project. Let's make it work.
Or I just
Age
wait
of
for
Empires?
Mondays and race and play Age of Empires. That's right.
That's
I saw a new one actually came out. Age of Wonders. The new Age of Wonders just came out. I did see that one. Yep. Yeah, I did see that.
Those are good games. The Age of Wonders.
I didn't remember it. I tried to watch a little clip of it, but I couldn't get my head
into it. We have a couple
but anyway,
of them. We played them.
I think so. Yeah, maybe 2. Like it's been a bit for sure. Yeah. But yeah, you know what? The week was fun. I did have fun playing the build. I did have fun, flying through maps and building up stuff. You kind of get to a point where I'm like, I don't really know what to do with all of this currency. And I went and changed my currency or my filter to just be like insanely strong, because I was so tired of picking up too much stuff every single map. So it's like very, very strict now. But yeah, the build's fun. Headhunter's great. I bought one that I thought I would take advantage of because it was, to actually be honest, it was the cheapest. And I was like, ooh, it has determination has increased aura effect as the corrupt, because it was a corrupted one. So you just lose some life, I think. The airplane.
Yeah, is your window open?
Yep. That'll come out. You won't hear it.
That's fine.
So yeah, I bought one with the corruption of, it just happened to have a corruption of determination has increased aura effect, which I was like, oh, cool. And then I didn't even run determination into my build, but
rude.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so I'm not really sure. The only thing I could think of was to start just building up currency for putting a mage blood on my boss killer, but the boss killer's fine, and I don't plan to map with the boss killer. So I'm kind of just chilling now, wait until the private league. And then I'll probably still do some maps and stuff because it is fun. It's like, I like that I've set it up so I can just go in and play. If I've got 5 minutes, I can run a map or two. No problem. That's easy. That's what I like about Path of Exile. I have no interest in doing a 30-minute map. I don't have any interest in like being forced to sit down to play for 2 hours. I just don't have the time for it. And there's nothing that grabs me for that purpose right now. So yeah, it was good though. It's fun.
Good.
I like being fast. It's fun.
Up yours.
And this is nothing like the 450% movement. Like I have, what do I have? Actually, I have it up right now. 57.
Gotcha.
It's just once you get all the crazy headhunter stuff that then it gets a lot of fun. And I think it was Talon was talking about how you can use the amulet to force Soul Eater. It's like, and when you use a Val skill, you get Soul Eater, which is cool. It's a Xerxes heart or something. But it has a modifier on it that makes was it a 50% 50% increased stat requirements, and that's 50% increased stat requirements to everything. Not just items, but jewels, gems, like anything. It makes it very difficult to, at least for me, to plan out how I could make it work. I did buy one. I tried to put it in, but I just got so freaking annoyed because also, if I'm wearing that, maybe this is just me. If I'm wearing that amulet and I mouse over an item and it's red, right? So say the chest is red, I can't put the chest on.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell me how much I need to put it on.
Oh, okay.
It just shows me what the requirements are for it by default, but it doesn't tell me what I need to put it on. And so then if I'm playing in the evening, I'm a little bit tired. And let's say the requirement is 170, I don't know, 168 strength. I don't want to math to figure out how much strength do I need. I feel like I should be able to mouse over it and just see what's the strength requirement to put it on. So
I've always been torn with attributes. Like I like the puzzle of needing to get it, but I hate being completely handcuffed by, in theory, crafting land by attributes at the same time. Like I don't mind minor stuff, but you know, like if a wand's 242 intelligence, you know what I mean? That, you know, it's like, well, I feel like anybody can just pick up a wand and use it. You know what I mean? Like, and so like I like attribute requirements, but I think some stuff's too high. You know, like it should be a minor puzzle, not a major puzzle. You know, for example, like investing in let's say you get 230 plus nodes of the same, like let's say I'm getting 230 plus nodes of dex. To me, that should be way more than I need if I'm not getting any other decks anywhere else. Like 2 is huge. That's 60. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like, and this is, you know, we weren't talking about this, but I feel like the attributes need a little bit more of a scale down. It's something to think about, but it's not something to panic about. And I know it's been like this for forever and ever, but they've been changing some stuff like that. And so, you know, but speaking of movement speed, so what's your movement speed right now? Like if you add it all together? Nice.
Well, with nothing on, with no flasks or anything, is 57.
I on my Reaper build on console, I have a Quicksilver flask that has, what's it called when it's sitting on the base, you know what I mean, and it can't gain charges during its effect. What did I do to it? It's not. Oh,
instead of instilling, you use the
enkindling.
Enkindling, yep.
So I have that effect. Right, and it has a 69% increased effect on my Quicksilver flask. But every time I use it, the quartz flask next to it gets used, and that it was great because I was rolling and rolling and rolling until I finally got gain 3 charges when you're hit by an enemy on my quartz flask. But it also rolled with 9% increased movement speed during effect. So I got the 40% plus 9%, and then that 40%'s also got 69% increased effect. And now all of a sudden, when I hit that oh crap flask button, I'm moving too fast, way too fast. My head's bouncing like crazy, and yeah. So I might actually have to get rid of the enkindling orb a bit and slow down.
Does the increased effect for enkindling, it affects the roll on it as well, right? Like it affects both the implicit for, you know, like a Quicksilver, which has the 40% movement speed, but it also affects the things you've rolled on it.
Oh, like
which is crazy.
Gain 3 charges, yeah.
Yeah, because if you have, like I have of the cheetah, which is the highest speed roll that can roll on a Quicksilver, which is an additional 14%, so that's 54%. So if you all of a sudden had a 69% effect on that, that's crazy. That's the fun part when you do go like the Mage Blood route, is because you can roll the Enkindling on them to get the effect. And then you can also, like, literally you can get all of your resists from a single flask. You can basically get everything from that, especially once you include an Enkindling onto them. But
yeah, it's really cool. Yeah. So
anyway, that was my week. What else you got? Anything else before we wrap up? I saw you got one thing. Let's do it.
All right. Let me give a shout out to this individual on Reddit. Fram Franson is my new best friend on Reddit.
Yep.
And they brought up the Keystone Conduit, share endurance, frenzy, and power charges with nearby party members. Mm-hmm. So they brought up the point that now that there's no more bonus scaling with minions anymore when it comes to charges, can we change the conduit Keystone? So before, there was a lot of hidden modifiers with how minions interacted with charges, right? There were a lot of other hidden modifiers as well when it came to curses. I think it was the same time where it was like a no hidden modifiers sweep, and I think they changed charges at the same time as curses, but my memory could be mistaken. Anyway, they got rid of a lot of the hidden modifiers on charges, so they're not as powerful for minions anymore, nowhere near. And so they suggested changing conduit from sharing with nearby party members, which is users only, not allies, but to changing it to allies. So they're suggesting now that the charges aren't as strong for minions, that conduit gets changed to share endurance, frenzy, and power charges with nearby allies, so that it can impact your minions.
I feel like that's actually pretty fair.
Agreed, except for maybe endurance charges, but also I don't see a problem with endurance charges with minions. Survivability is a pain in the butt right now.
Well, if you're gonna, my feeling is if I work to getting the ability to gain endurance, frenzy, and power charges, whatever method that is, some are easier than others.
Yeah.
That's the way I've built my build. So I don't see, especially now that they've made those charges mean so much less to them. Because the thing is, the enemies can still get it, right? Like you can still get the ape that does the charge that gives frenzy charges, and that's giving it to to your allies, to the rest of them. So I think it would be fun because it would give you the ability to play around with some stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally, like minimum charges crafted on rings, or like there would be some fun stuff that you could probably do with that. Yeah. Does the gloves that have conduit? I assume conduit at its base level is only nearby party members, not allies. Like
conduit. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if the gloves specifically state ally, but if it just says conduit, then it's the same thing. But yeah, I thought that was a fantastic suggestion, and especially because the location of conduit, it's right in the middle of the tree. And that's not where every build's going to path. So you're definitely going out of your way for that as well. Especially if you're doing minions, right? Like there's not a lot of minion players that are going to be in that section of the tree unless you're starting as a scion.
It would have given them an extra keystone to add to wands and stuff too for Crucible, because then there would have been a benefit to getting it.
Yeah, so it'd be really cool.
I think that's fun.
Yeah. So hopefully GGG saw it and heard it. But yeah, way to go, Fram Franson.
Fram Framson.
Yep. 169. What?
Fram Framson.
What did I say?
It's a double Fram. You said Fram Franson.
Shut up. I said it right.
I just want to make sure they know. Fram Framson.
1 billion upvotes, 169 comments. I hope Fram. I hope you did it. Preach.
No, I like that. I like that idea. Okay, I think we're going to wrap this up because I have to get to a meeting. And in After Dark tonight, let's chat about our private league because I want to talk about what your thoughts are for it because I have some. And they might not be very original. I thought we were going to talk
about how you were going to start a zombie build.
Yes, that will definitely be a topic of conversation. Let's wrap this up. 188. Forever Exiled. I'm Justin, AK Tags.
I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
We hope you enjoyed your time with us today. Patrons, we'll catch you in After Dark. Everybody else, 189 next week. Also, make sure Okay, hold on. Let me go through everything. You want to join the private league, but you're going to have to listen to the next part about the Discord. So anyway, we got a website, foreverexiled.com. We're on for Twitter, foreverexiled82. We have a very fun Discord you should be a part of, and that's where you will find information regarding the private league, where you can join, how you can get in there, and how you can have some fun. Patrons and other ways to support the podcast. You can find them down below as well as on our website. Bye.
Bye.
I mean, good day to you all.
What?
Seemed to match with the chair.
Oh, yes. Cheerio. Cheerio.
Chip, chip.